everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading. I read until I feel like I've said all that I have to say. I don't know how long it'll take to upload because lately the videos on my other channel have been taking hours and they would usually take less than 20 minutes. So I am gonna think that it'll probably take a long time. I have the decks here. And I usually sneeze around this time of night. It's past midnight. I would just say, oh, who's talking about me or who's thinking about me? I have the Mysteries of Mary Tarot. And the cards are already jumping. And I don't turn the cards over until I pull out all the cards, but these already turned over. So it's the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, or Roses, and the Ace of Vessels. The names are different. And it's kind of giving energy like um there's like love in the home, or there's where it's made with love or done with love type of energy. Archangel Oracle, Angel Tarot, and I do have the Glory to Ukraine Tarot, and that's the deck that I have for my readings. I feel like the Angel Tarot is approachable, especially if readings aren't really something that a person isn't like a thing that they're familiar or even comfortable with. So even with some of the cards that might seem more blunt, it says it in a way or translates it to where it's a little bit of a, it's soft, but it's also a potent translation too. I'm getting that there might be a little more discipline with, I feel like that is close to the archetype of the Queen of Roses in this reading, because it just seems like one where there's values or something that isn't going to stray away from a way that's how this person wants to live their life. And I'm not reading for genders, but it does seem to be a little bit of a more striking energy, as if you could consider it a little more masculine for the for a queen here, and we have masculine and feminine energy anyway. But I would say that's what's the energy that they're bringing right now, or even in the environment too. And it also feels like energy that means well. And I feel like maybe that could be something that comes out as one of those things that come out in the reading, because it might be taken in a different way. And even maybe if, like, I'm getting the word literally, like sometimes they might say something and take it for what the situation is, and I'll start turning over the cards. But it just seems that maybe they could joke around and or say something that might be confusing, but I'm getting it's like one of those things where if you're close to the person and this person doesn't usually try to hurt you, there's a good chance that you could get the impression that they will, there's a good chance that they're not trying to hurt you. And then the conversation could be furthered and to see how you could get like a clearer understanding of what was said or done. Just because um, it's either there's like a misinterpretation with how a person says or does something, but it's for not like the usual bad intentions that maybe you might get from, I don't know, somewhere else. And it might be even something that they're not doing too. Like, maybe they're, like, because it's the Queen of Pentacles, and it might be like a studious type of energy, because I'm also getting the Page of Pentacles. So this is a person that even if they're in a, a different job, or they're in the next stage, or um, going from a junior to a senior of something, or novice, they're still putting just as much effort in as they have done in the past. And again, if it's not a person, it could be like energetically too, that um, or collectively, like as you get older, there it's like, when you see, is it considered a meme, but when you're trying to make plans with your friends when you're older, it's usually spaced out like a lot, maybe weeks or months down the road, the next time you'll be able to see them, because they just have all of these other things to do. So Um, it does seem like a lot of studious energy, and sometimes energy that maybe you thought that they were going to come out or respond sooner, but instead they were maybe swamped with work or they had to do something that you might not think will take that long. I'm kind of thinking about like crafting too because I have my bag here and it's one of those things like where I initially didn't think it would take as long as it did, but there was a lot of things to put together. It doesn't take nearly as long as knitting my other projects, but for this small project, but if maybe if you're doing like a blanket, it could definitely take just as long to when you're like knitting. But it's I feel like it's kind of taken like in a different way. And the obstacle that's coming up is the Nine of Pentacles. It just feels like maybe there could have been energy of feeling like it's leaning a lot more towards the work life and not the other parts of life. And even when, because it's like the 4th of July week, and I'm taking a course. I don't even have class that day, and I still have the week off. Um, so for me, I'm like, well, even though I have time off, I still want to be ahead of my work. So it kind of like gets that energy too, where like I'm still going to move forward and just still work, even though life is like, you don't really have work. And I'm like, yeah, but I could do other work. How to overcome the obstacle is the Page of Swords and the Seven of Cups. I just feel like there's an energy. I didn't turn over all the cards yet, but it just feels like there's an energy of somebody or there's some part of your life or the other person, it could be like vice versa, where someone is just like, hello, are you still doing what you're doing, or are you actually gonna show up or respond or like have your presence to like give them the um something because it seems like the other energy is kind of just looking for something. So, because it's like the Page of Swords, you can maybe consider it as like a chatty card too. Out of like the court cards, this one tends to be the one that could just say anything because you have the King of Swords, and the King of Swords says something, but says it like they're gauging the situation. You don't have to go with age, but the page is kind of considered the youngest of the court cards. So you know how kids are, they could just say like whatever. I feel like there's levels of response here because the Seven of Cups is a card where you're selective, but it contradicts the Page of Swords where the Page of Swords kind of just wants something, like just anything. And then the past is the Moon card. I feel like this is with the Page of Swords. Um, and if you're working, or maybe if you're in school, or you could just be doing other stuff with your life that involves you dedicating time towards it, there might be a person, or like other types of energy that's saying that you should just, like, you have this relaxation time and this is kind of like a rarity for you. Why don't you use it to actually relax and just relax? Because that's, it just doesn't seem like in the nature of the energy here that it's mainly reading for. But you could again flip it with the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. All are like determined to just be proactive, um, and even using that energy, because the Page of Pentacles, being more of like a person that would act, that would go out to do those things, to um, do this and that. It it's like weighing down more than you realize or recognize. Um, there could be like an energy where you might be going out with somebody, or married, or like associated with somebody in some type of way, and then they're like, um, we could have been on vacation, or you could have had a little more than a sliver of time to actually spend time with me, or like to do this, or like to dedicate towards something else. So there might be a shift, because again, with the Ace of Cups being there, with the Queen of Pentacles, um, I just feel like there isn't like any intention to offend somebody, or to, because the heart is in the work too. In the future, it's interesting. You have the King of Swords, but I think it could be associated with the other energy too, where maybe there's a little more of an understanding, or like different perspective, but it doesn't negate any of emotion from the Moon card, even though some might feel that the King of Swords can lack emotion, but I feel like that would be more reversed, because um, making decisions, there might be other aspects involved with a choice. So the King of Swords, I feel like, brings perception to the energy. Still, maybe on the stricter side with things, like there is something about, there's a standard to something, like there could be a standard to a lifestyle, or how you do things, or a standard to a relationship, where you're not just associated, or like going out with somebody, or married to somebody just because. And it I feel like the King of Swords kind of wants to uphold that, and make sure that things don't get too one-sided or the other, especially with the Pentacles. And I feel like maybe, um with Pentacles and Swords here, with those archetypes especially, they're the opposite elements. So it wouldn't be surprising if there could be like a misunderstanding, even if they aren't those signs specifically. Uh, Earth could be combined with water, in this case with the Ace of Vessels or Ace of Cups. I feel like it could be promising with the Queen of Pentacles because the card that comes out is Brilliant Idea. I think this is a nice card and fun card to have in the readings. Archangel Uriel, yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action and bring your idea to fruition. So there could be like the grand scheme of things, or there could be like the bigger picture that the Queen of Pentacles is looking at. Um, there might be a need for further explanation because with the sword suit, that's the suit of communication. One of the main things that they have or embody. So if you're thinking about like different signs, um, I definitely would say that just keeping track or keeping a person updated or even your calendar updated too, that type of organization. Like I said, you could apply it to your life. You could even apply everything to yourself because there's more than one aspect of yourself on how you could make things easier and life more livable and enjoyable and maybe even more comfortable. Because it's nice for the up and up and up, but um, you also want the everyday occurrences that happen. So you know what to do. Archangel Uriel, another Archangel Uriel card. I will say that these are kind of messenger energies because you have Archangel Uriel being of communication. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Leadership, Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership, power, and position and lovingly guide others. And other people might be looking for that guidance too. Archangel Gabriel, in some ways, is known as like God's bestie. So this could be that type of energy where, um, hey bestie, like where are you type of situation, or if it's in a different type of way too. And even all is well, Archangel Jeremiel, everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to. That is, it is supposed to. With hidden blessings, you'll soon understand. And Archangel Jeremiel does communicate too, at more like a dreamlike communication. So let me see the other cards. I'm gonna try to end this soon just because I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to upload. And I feel like I got the messages. So I love this card, Nine of Fire, Nine of Wands. Don't give up, protect that which you've created, have courage and believe in yourself. Another air sign or court card. Queen of Air, Queen of Swords, independent, experienced, realistic, witty. I feel like there could be like the shift of energy or being more fluid with the Ace of Vessels, Ace of Cups. That's an aspect of the Cups energy. They tend to be flexible, where there's like a lot of movement in different parts of their life and um, knowing how to navigate those waves, especially in with their emotions. But with Queen of Air, Queen of Swords, objective decision making clearly. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. Five of Water, things not turning out the way you've hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. So crying over spilled milk is the overall general meaning, like super general meaning of the Five of Cups. I'm not saying it doesn't apply, but a lot of times as a tarot reader, that would be like one of the main things that you would hear about this card, especially if you're learning about the cards. And you could even use it further down the line. So with this, there could be that type of lesson where it's not as bad as it seems. So I feel like it could be with the Page of Swords, just because the Page of Swords wants something right away. Like there's just, it just seems like waiting for a response and not getting it as quickly as you would want to. And from that, like it's making you feel some type of way because we're thinking about water or thinking with air. Um, Water, a lot of emotions. It embodies that element. And then you have the Star card, Archangel Jopiel. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long term plans on the right path. I think this is a great card to end on. The Star is like a nice, nice card to have in a reading because it's almost like not giving up and you haven't even seen the best parts yet type of thing. The best is yet to come. And I do feel like it goes with the Five of Cups where you don't need to close this chapter, and the energy of like not stopping something before something has transformed or begun, because there are great things in the future for this. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in another video.